Hello, I'm Rochelle, and this is episode 165 of the Genuine Realtor Show, which airs every Friday. This week, we're covering a viewer request for Hamilton's historic West End, which encompasses some of the most stunning examples of Tudor homes in the city, as well as being home to McMaster University and Children's Hospital. Ready? Let's go. Now, when locals think of West Hamilton, there's a bit of discrepancy on where those boundaries really are. For some, West Hamilton's eastern boundary is Dundas Street. For others, the cutoff is the 403. The northern and southern boundaries are clearly defined with the Royal Botanical Gardens Nature Sanctuary of Coote's Paradise to the north, and the Niagara Escarpment, aka the mountain, to the south. For anyone new to the area, the term West Hamilton can be a little confusing because Hamilton amalgamated Ancaster and Dundas, which are both further west than the West Hamilton we're covering today, but they are their own established communities, and I've started referring to the city as Hamilton proper when explaining the more micro nuances. So with that long explainer out of the way, let's take a tour of West Hamilton proper. Now, before we dive in, if you are finding this helpful, please like the video, subscribe, and click the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss an upcoming Hamilton episode. Kicking off, we are in Westdale, one of Canada's first planned communities. This is considered by many locals as one of the nicest neighborhoods in the city, and with all of the classic 1920 builds surrounded by nature, it's easy to see why. Centered around the Westdale Shopping District, a collection of wonderful independent shops and stores offering unique items, delicious food, and is a wonderful place to support local businesses. Radiating out from the shopping district in Westdale South are the mature tree-lined streets and homes built in the 1920s to 1940s, with a few newer infills mixed in. There are also a handful of apartment buildings and some new condo builds in the works to help intensify the population here. It was really only a matter of time before more multi-unit buildings began to be built due to the demand for student housing to supply the McMaster University students with safe housing options. So for some, this new density plan is welcomed with open arms, while others are worried about the lasting effects on the community. But since McMaster moved from Toronto to Hamilton in 1930, the population of the area has been in a constant seasonal flux corresponding to the school year and should help create a balance between investments and housing. The Westdale North area is full of more modest homes when compared to Westdale South's manors, but it also offers the same convenient access to schools, city parks, and the Coote's Paradise Nature Sanctuary. In fact, one of my favorite things about this end of the city are the RBG trailheads dotting the north edge of the neighborhood. From the trails behind McMaster Hospital and University, by the Hamilton Aviary and Churchill Park, which has one of the best climbing playgrounds in the city, along with the Princess Point Trail, which connects into the Bayfront Park Promenade system, Westdale truly is one of a kind here in Hamilton. Now, I am a realtor here in the Hamilton area, so if you have any questions, please feel free to email or leave a comment below. Main Street is the divide between Westdale and Ainslie Wood, home to an assortment of restaurants, coffee shops, grocery stores, and other amenities that serve both West End neighborhoods. Main Street also offers access to Ancaster and Dundas, allowing for easy access to the west, as well as being the main strip through downtown Hamilton to the east, and also offers easy highway access to the 403. Now, Hess Village isn't in the West End at all, but since a few of the requests came from parents and students considering McMaster, it's worth mentioning. You're just a short bus ride or ride service away from one of the most popular nightlife areas in Hamilton. Ainslie Wood is a classic 1950s community tucked into the base of the escarpment and adjacent to almost 3,000 acres of protected forests inside the boundaries of Dundas Conservation Area. Originating as farmland, the earliest European settlers of the area offered their land to locals with open arms and coined the nickname Ainslie Woods for a portion of the Ainslie family farm that was popular as a picnic destination. The neighborhood is home to some green spaces, including the Rail Trail, which is a 32-kilometer multi-use path along an abandoned CN rail line between Hamilton and Brantford. It's a popular trail and takes you through Ainslie Wood into the Dundas Conservation area and beyond. In the 1930s, its popularity began to grow as McMaster University brought more opportunities to the area, and its location near prime green space continued to encourage locals to explore. After World War II, the community was quickly expanding with post-wartime dwellings, which are now the main style of homes, but there are also some apartment and condo buildings throughout the community, many of which offer amazing views of Coote's Paradise, the escarpment, and the sunsets. During the 1950s post-war era, the streets were paved and the community began to flourish. But once you cross over to the south side of Whitney, you'll find more single-family homes and fewer student housing investment properties, as well as some local gems worth exploring. There is one main park space on this side of Whitney, Alexander Park. It's another fantastic addition to the City of Hamilton park system. As the city continues to redefine itself as a place you'll want to live, you can get further acquainted with the nuances of the city's many communities by watching my video on Hamilton's amalgamations. Thank you so much for joining me and getting to know Hamilton Proper's West End. If you have any questions, please do feel free to email or leave a comment below. Until next week, keep it genuine.